Hey, what's good, guys? Welcome to my first abandoned YouTube video. And in today's video, we're going to be exploring my old elementary school, which is now abandoned. And as you can see, here I am with my friend Michaela, who used to be in my class. And we're going to be walking around the school, and you're going to hear a lot of teachers' names. And you're going to remember all of these classrooms I used to go into. So, as you can see, this behind this wall used to be the gym. The stage used to be there, which we can't look in because there's no windows. And I don't know what this room was right there, but there's lots of story. Okay, lots of story here, and it's gonna be long. So if you don't like long stories, you can click off this video. But other than that, I recommend you stay so you can see what my old school looked like. So here we start with this classroom. And this classroom actually used to be my preschool classroom. So I came to this school in 2004 and until 2014. And this was my first classroom. And what happened was, so then I went to kindergarten, went to the next room over. And then I actually winded up back in this classroom in grade 6 until grade 7. And then I left the school to another elementary school. But yes, so this used to be my homeroom in preschool. Then it became my homeroom in grade 6 and 7. And back there in that room used to be a computer room in which we did, I wouldn't say we did computers on it, but we did do, what did we do? I remember this used to be for like students to like have a private test room. And I should also say I was in the hard of hearing program in this school, so this was one of the rooms for hard of hearing. You want to say anything, Michaela? Okay. Yeah. So me and Michaela were actually schoolmates at this school. I don't know if I can get in. Okay, I can't see inside that one. And this room used to be for kindergartners to go private. And this is the hard of hearing kindergarten room. And I was in this class, and this used to be my JK SK room. So I was in here for JK, I was in here for SK, and the teacher I had was Mr. Hill, I should say. And for the room that we were just at, I had Mrs. Chelderai as my teacher. And I used to call her Miss Sally because I couldn't articulate Chelderai. So I had Mr. Hill in this room, and then Mr. Hill became my grade 4 teacher until I left the school. And when I turned to grade 1 until grade 3, I actually was in this room, which was, I'm going to move to a better spot, which was this room, which used to be Mr. Bartlett. I used to be Mr. Bartlett's room from grade 1 till grade 3. And as our discipline system, which on the wall, on the chalkboard, you can't see now, it's gone, but there used to be a truck system where we had these magnetic trucks, and there was level 4, you were good all day. Level 3, you did one thing you shouldn't do. Level 2, you had a good day. And level 1, you had a bad day with the bear mad. So one time I actually got a level 1 ticket because we had one student in this room that actually was in a wheelchair, and I came in from recess and I threw a stone at the back of his head, and I got moved right to the level 1. And I was only in grade 2 then, so man, that was so long ago. Phonak used to be is a FM system company, and they still have the Phonak system. Man, I remember, I think Mrs. Parsons' room. This used to be the regular. There was 2 grade 1 to grade 3, actually 3 grade 1 to grade 3 primary mainstream classrooms, and this is one of them, Mrs. Parsons. Then this is Mrs. Allen's room, and this used to be the climbers where we would play at recess all the time. We were actually not even allowed to go up on the hill there because there was always a dog that would bark at us, and we would always tease the dog, so we were not even allowed on the hill. And we were only allowed in the wintertime because of the crazy carpets. And right there, actually right here, used to be the sand pit where we could play, the primary kids would play track and field. I remember playing track and field and digging in that sand. And I think this used to be the sandbox before. I can't remember now. It looks all like, looks like kind of like the remains of a sandbox, but I can't tell. And these used to be the climbers we play on. And I actually got my first like injury on these climbers. I was playing on this green set, and I was in preschool, and this one other kid who was in the primary pulled my legs and threw me on the ground, and I had a red face all day. Man, endless amount of memories here. I remember even ripping the skipping rope inside of that tree. And we had outdoor classrooms there. We actually had a whole school photo on one of those. And I remember playing baseball there. I remember the other outdoor classroom. We didn't use them as classrooms. We just like went out there if we wanted to chill and have a break. But we weren't even allowed in the woods. They said like, so we were only allowed past that net there, but we couldn't go any further because they couldn't see us. Anyway, I should show you before they actually removed the climbers. Is it Pray for Catherine? I remember getting some of our class photos actually right behind this right here. I remember trying to climb that. And oh man, I remember this slide. They still have the slide here. I remember I would like slide down in this hot summertime, and I would burn badly on this slide. Man, I can still feel that to this day. And hey, Michaela, do you remember when we would play talk microphone? Yeah, we would talk to each other. So there was a microphone here, and there's one actually on the other side, and we would actually just talk to each other through the microphone. Man, the memories are just endless. I remember one time when we played track and field, I don't know why, but all these other like senior kids used to be able to like run so fast, and I was the last. And what would happen was, I think the teacher was Mr. Hudicek, and he was a phys ed teacher. So he would make like a horn sound, and all the kids with me and some of these other kids would just run right to the very end. Oh man, there's actually a toboggan still here in this outdoor classroom. Wonder what's gonna happen to these outdoor classrooms now. I remember we had a whole entire school photo, like the whole school would gather here, and we actually like celebrated that we built these outdoor classrooms, which was in 2013. And was it L&K Plumbing, TD Bank, Thames Valley District School Board, Stone Paradise, the Fairmont Community. So if you guys want to know when the school closed just this past year in 2022, and it's now abandoned. So still taking stuff out, and apparently the power is still on. I remember playing soccer in this field. I remember even sometimes, like, if kids were misbehaving in soccer, the teachers would write, like, no soccer at recess, and we were not allowed to take soccer balls out occasionally. But I remember we were allowed up on this hill at recess time, but we weren't even allowed past the hill. This is how some of the kids would actually come to school when they lived in that neighborhood. Here's the other outdoor classroom. Ooh. So yeah, they used to have preschools in this for the hard of hearing program here, but they didn't have like preschool for mainstream. So that's that room I showed you. That was the preschool room. Oh man, I had so many endless memories on this park. I remember swinging on these when I was at, this actually was the junior yard. That used to be the primary yard. So the junior yard actually was, so it was from grade 4 to grade 8. I remember I was such a little kid and I couldn't even swing these monkey bars. Now I can like just almost hit my head on them now. That's how much I've grown since then. I remember playing track and field and I would jump in that sand pit there. And there were even occasions, I remember we'd get an extra 20-minute recess because we were good people. Anyway, I remember we used to play basketball in here. Like sometimes we would try to, there used to be wooden nets, like that net for sure was a wooden net. And I remember the wood was just deteriorating. And I remember always trying to smack the ball hard to destroy the board. Okay, I'm gonna show you that door that I missed. And then I'll show you this row, and that door back there, and that row. By Fairmont. So yeah, that's that was the hallway, the primary hall. You know, you can get that very good. But I remember when I was in preschool, that fire alarm right there. I remember like walking to catch the buses, because our buses, we didn't go on the big yellow school buses. We actually went on like little minivans, and they would line up right here. And then I remember coming out, and I would actually just touch the fire alarm all the time, like I was gonna pull it. Like it did not have one of those protectors on it. Oh, and they actually had the whole COVID-19 signs. I was 6 feet apart. But yeah, by Fairmont. I think I remember, Mikhail, didn't we, when you guys lined up for school, like, didn't we, like, line up? We lined up right there, right? Yeah. I thought we lined up maybe, like, here or something, maybe here, I don't know. But I remember our classes would line up in all different directions and go in school. But I remember, here's the thing I should tell you. I remember I would pick up a rock at recess time when I was in grade 3, and I would throw it at that bell, trying to get it to ring. And the other thing you want to see, you want to hear, you're not gonna believe what we're about to talk about. So before you came, Michaela, I remember I picked up a worm because it was like raining or something, and I used to like pick up worms, and I pick it up and I just eat the worms. Man, I got in so much trouble for that. I remember one of my EAs was Miss McIntyre, and I used to joke and call her Miss McIntyre. And then I had another EA named Mrs. Mix. Actually, Miss Mix. Yeah, I remember Miss Mix. And then I also had Mrs. Carruthers. she was a nice person if you're on her good side, like the teacher's pet. But other than that, she would turn strict and like crack the whip and be the controlling of the classroom. Like all the students would just behave if Miss Carruthers came in the room, but when they don't, we all get out of control. Anyway, here's the here's one of Miss Chelderai's rooms. I don't know who, I think it was Mrs. Davio or something that was the kindergarten teacher one time, but she was a walk-around teacher. But anyway, Miss Chelderai used to teach in this room. This was another primary room, grade 1 to 3. I think this actually maybe it was grade 1 to 2, or I can't remember now how they arranged it, but I wonder if I can see. Is this another room? I think this was another room, I think. Anyway, I don't know. I think I might miss this room. Or this might be Miss Chelderai's room. I can't remember. Anyway, the next room over, as you can see, looks like, I don't know what this was. Was this like an arts room or something? I don't remember. I think I remember this was actually Vicky, the hearing ideologist. This was her room. Or maybe, actually, this was Vicky, the ideologist's room. I remember I came in here whenever I'd see Vicky or Miss Buckroll. I got an FM system by Mrs. Buckroll. Oh, wow. Oh, is this this might have been the library, wasn't it? Or this is probably another classroom. The library. Actually, maybe, yes, this was the this is actually the library. So this was one of the learning rooms in the library where we had a desk and some computers. And the this is the actual library. Like in here, it's very hard to see, but I can't do nothing about the screens there, but I'll just keep trying to get it in frame. But this is the library where we actually got some school pictures taken against that wall there and on a bench, like on a gym bench anyway. Darn it, that's so long ago. And wow, I can't believe this place. I remember the book fairs and everything. Like outside that door there, if you can see, just outside that door was actually the hall duty. And this used to be the boys' bathroom. That was the girls' bathroom. And this is hall duty, so like you were like walking in, you you can go walk, if you're walking in, that's where the hall duty was. So you can go to the bathroom at recess and stuff. And there's a smart board right under that ladder. That used to be the custodian's office just to the left. And there used to be a custodian's basement, and there's lots of wires there. And right across those doors used to be the computer lab. So I believe like this, before I came here, this part was probably added. Like they just added these doors. But I think the school actually those used to be the original doors. And this was the boys and this was the girls' bathroom in the junior hall. Yeah. It's just hard to believe we're here. Where are we? What's in here? Camera. This actually used to be the other kindergarten room. Like I remember this was a kindergarten room, and I remember Mrs. Bice was the kindergarten teacher. Then there was Mr. Peterson, and I can remember a lot of teachers' names. think this used to be Miss Manius's room. She was the grade 7, 8 teacher. I remember Miss Manius. So, fuck. It's kind of hard to see with all these screens though, but I think, no, wait. This wasn't Miss Manius's room. This is actually Mrs. Hughes's room. This is Mrs. Hughes's room. She was the grade 6, 7 teacher. And this was this used to be Miss Manius's room. Right here. My God. In which this used to be the grade 4 and 5 class, and that was this is actually my first French teacher was Mr. Pelaya, and this was the room I would go to for French, and this is the grade 4 and 5 class. So I'd go for grade 4 in Mr. Pelaya's room for French. God, I hated French, absolutely. I remember saying that to Mr. Pelaya's face, and that bugged him a lot. And this actually is Mrs. Commandus's room. She was another, I think just a grade 4 teacher. I think she had grade 5s too, but I don't remember. But I remember Mrs. Commandus. I remember all these teachers for whatever reason. I don't know how I know all these teachers. And this is the junior hall, guys. And I think we lined up. Michaela? No, we lined up right there, right in that middle line there. I remember lining up there, and this is how we go into the school. This is the old PTA sign over there. And here was actually Mr. Shanks's room. This used to be Mr. Shanks's room. My grade 5 to 6 French teacher was Mr. Shanks, and this was his room. This used to be the staff room. This used to be the staff room here. I remember that vending machine so well. Okay, guys, so this used to be the staff room, and actually I forgot to mention the other room that I was at for my preschool room. That used to be a staff room after I was in preschool, and then when 6-7 came around, they moved us to that room, and then this became the staff room. So I don't know what this room was before that. And I remember Mr. Vishrapper. He was another 6, 7, 8 teacher. And I don't know why. I wanted to go see it. I integrated to him for history and some other stuff. And the vice principal, Mrs. Coyview, actually used to teach the history and geography that we were in. And this was the grade 6, 7 classroom. And it was Mr. Vishrapper. And this room, I remember this was actually my grade 4 room a long time ago. This room used to look like all the other classrooms that we were just at. And back in 2013, the reason we were moved to the staff room, that my preschool room, was because they were going to convert this room into like a luxury kindergarten room. And they actually have like part of the office used to be where that wall was. The wall used to come a little closer. They took it down, and then they actually made a bathroom just like the furthest, like kind of like not the main door, but the door next to it is the bathroom of the kindergarten room. And I remember Mrs. Davio used to be the teacher in the room, and Mr. Hill was actually my grade 5 teacher to 7, and we were once in this room, and then grade 4 used to be Miss Latour, and it was this room before the renovation, and now it got renovated again. It got renovated in 13, and then it became the kindergarten room. Wow. It's hard to believe all these endless amount of memories, and everything still looks fairly new. There's a hand washing station, so if those kindergartners that do crafts and painting, that's what happened. I remember also I was in this room for some resources, and that was Sue Henry. I used to be in here for Sue Henry, and this is the principal's office right here. I remember coming here a couple times, and I remember the principals I do remember were Mr. Bowes, Mrs. Campbell, and Mr. Smith. I can't remember my other principals. And I'm just gonna sneak behind these trees here. This used to be the secretary desk, and I remember Miss Lindsay as the secretary. And before, I remember like there was a door on the other side of it. It's not revealed in the window, but like across in the principal's office. Then this desk used to be over on the opposite side, and all the students and the secretary would come in and sign in at the office. But they decided to move the desk where it currently is, so that people can just come straight from the door and sign in at the office. Still got the COVID-19 plexiglass. That used to be where that room where all the lights are on. That used to be where the walkie-talkie is. And there's actually a graduation picture sitting right up there. Can't tell what year it is though. Looks like they're still cleaning out the school, but I hope they do something with all that memorabilia. Here's another view. Ring bell. Unfortunately, they're locked. So this is actually the front foyer of the school, and that door actually used to be the custodian's office, and Mr. Brotzel was the custodian. Oh, actually, shit, those doors actually just opened. Yeah, try click it again. Oh my god, the power still works and the door's open. That's sick. I wonder, did the store just try to open? Maybe the store did, I don't know. It's the COVID-19 system. Oh my god. That's so funny. Let's watch them close. I remember this was the learning support teacher's room. And who was the learning support teacher? Mrs. Adwell. Okay. So I remember during Mrs. Adwell's retirement, we actually would stand all in this line and watch Miss Adwell walk away. That's funny. Yeah. And also I remember we were doing a science project with Mr. Hill in the grade 6-7. And I remember we would take like our projects. I think maybe I was actually in that room there, but we would take our projects. Like I think what were we making? You remember? No idea. Okay, I think we were making windmills. I think they would like spin like this, and whenever the wind would gust, we would watch the windmills spin. And this used to be the kindergarten play yard. My first play yard, actually. I used to go to that room for my mainstream kindergarten. Like I would sometimes occasionally walk into that room for kindergarten, and I think this part was here when I came here. I think this might have been added later, I don't know. But I remember I used to play on those keys there. I remember there used to be a playground right there, and I remember I had a whole entire kindergarten photo sitting right there. I wonder if that kindergarten photo is still in the school. Maybe I'd like to find it. So this used to be the kindergarten room. And this is where you would hang your coats and come in from recess. I think this used to be the bathroom. And look at the side view. So yeah, that's the kindergarten room right there that I used to go to sometimes. By Fairmont. We're doing this all day. Come out here for recess and this is what I do. And well, anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the whole school. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you do, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.